Questions, please?
It's a bit kind of hard to know what to make of all that. John was obviously inspired, and what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty high quality match. Even the start of the match was obviously the first set wasn't that comfortable. I mean, there's a lot of close games, really long points, tough points. But yeah, he just made a few more mistakes, and then beginning of the second set, I went up 1-0, had break point and got the overrule on the baseline, and then his next service game I had love 30. And if I'd maybe taken those chances, I could have finished off the match. But when I didn't, he gained in confidence and he started going for his shots more. He was returning my first serve extremely well. He was playing right up on the baseline and just going for big shots, and it was tough for me to dictate too many of the points. And I made some adjustments with the way I was serving in the third set that turned it round. But he played really, really well for the most part.
Was it the first time you'd heard his name when you saw it in the draw? Or?
No, I'd seen his name before. I hadn't seen him play before, but I think it's important when you don't know how someone plays to find about their character a little bit and see, if there's maybe some weaknesses there or what they're like, so you kind of know what to expect when you're in a tough match. And from everyone I'd spoken to and from what I'd read, he's a very hard worker and strong mind. So I expected a tough match. I didn't expect him to go away at all, and he didn't. But no, I mean, from what people had told me and played against him, they said that he's very consistent. He makes a lot of balls. He can play quite a long way behind the baseline, and he doesn't take too many risks. And then he was going for absolute bombs and making them. So you can't read obviously too much into that. But if he plays like that, he's going to improve his ranking pretty fast. But I think as well, when you start to play up a level and you go for your shots, you realise that's the right way for him to play if he wants to get into the top 100 and play in these tournaments more regularly. He maybe beforehand, if he's playing defensive and doing a lot of running, it's tough to sort of break through. But if he goes for shots like that week in, week out, he'll lose some matches for sure, but he'll win more and give himself a good chance of getting to the top.
What's it like for you playing against a hometown boy, such a parochial crowd? Do you just block it out, or do you?
No, I mean, it was great to play in an atmosphere like that for the first match of the year. To get back into the swing of playing, in front of large crowds and loud crowds. There's obviously a lot of that at the Australian Open, and no matter how much you practice, you can't replicate those sort of atmospheres. So it's important for me to play in them, especially at the beginning of the year. And I wasn't too disappointed with the way I played tonight either. So it was a good first match for me.
You looked a bit uncomfortable at times. Were you sort of tightening up?
Yeah, a little bit. It's incredibly humid here, and also it's a lot of travelling too. And there was so many long points. There's very high intensity. There's also the new rules, with the time as well, so you're playing a lot quicker, and it just take a little while to adjust to that. And playing matches again after such a long period, again, no matter how much you train, you need matches to get back into the swing of things. And at the beginning of most years, the first few matches can be tough on the body. It hurts a little bit, but you get used to it, and then you feel better and better. And like I say, for a first match of the year, that was a perfect match in many ways, to go through some tough moments, a lot of long rallies, close games and important points, and to come through it's important.
Does it feel quite similar to last year? I think last year you had a close one, and then it obviously worked out well. Does it feel a bit similar?
Yeah, I mean, last year I started off slow. My first match against Kukushkin, I lost the first set 6-1, and there's maybe a breakdown in the second as well, and managed to turn it round. Today was a slightly different sort of match, but I had to fight extremely hard in both of them.
Are you meeting up with Ivan here, or?
He gets in tomorrow morning.
When was the last time you saw him?
December 22nd was the last day I trained in Miami before I went home.
Does that make you more relieved you won tonight? He's turning up the wrong way.
Yeah, well, he messaged Danny and said to him, can you send me the score and what time he's playing tomorrow before the match? You know, because he hadn't heard of John before. So he was, you know, obviously expecting me to come through, but it was very nearly a different story, and that's, you know, the depth of the game now is so strong. None of the matches are easy, and you know, it was a bit different back in his day where they could kind of cruise a little bit the first couple of rounds. It's so different nowadays.
During the off-season, I was wondering, did you have the chance to train with Tsonga? Because I know he was training in Miami.
Yeah, he was there for a few days training, but never worked out. We'd spoken about it beforehand at the tour finals in London, but yeah, it just didn't work out.
With Nadal not coming here, there might be some opportunities for someone to sort of push towards that top 4 or 5. Is there anyone you can see that can make big bounds this summer?
I mean, there's a lot of guys. I mean, with very different game styles. You know, you have the big servers and you know, your Isners and your Ryan-ish type players, and then you've got, you know, someone like a Ferreira who's just incredibly consistent, and every time he's sort of had opportunities, and you know, if someone's been injured or he's like the US Open, for example, you know, he'll more often than not reach his seeding. He very rarely loses matches. He's expected to win because he's so tough. So, you know, Bernard played incredibly well yesterday. I saw a bit of that match too, and I mean, there's opportunities there for guys to make a push depending on the draw.